Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken and Ken take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken and Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, they're great in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to our edition of Ken and Ken in the Morning. It's more camp news. It's joint practices. You're seeing Ken and I both forwarding the feed out to a million different places at once. The only difference is while Ken is staring down at the phone and can't do anything, I can at least talk to you. And I have one left to do, and that is...
Hold on. I can multitask. You ready, Ken?
Uh-oh. Here we go. Yeah.
I was going to say you had to know that'd be coming.
Lack of skills. That's all. Good morning, Bill. Bill, I was going to get there early this morning, but let's start it off. Teddy Bridgewater is visiting with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and is most likely going to be signing a contract as their backup quarterback. And speaking of jackwagons, good morning, Yisner.
No, I thought I heard that he actually did sign.
He might have signed. I know that Anthony Barr retired from football, right? So that happened. See, as of 8:39 this morning, he was expected to sign. He's visiting with the Buccaneers today. That's as of 8:39 this morning. So unless something changed in the last hour and a half or so, the Raiders did make a trade. They traded quarterback Jacorian Bennett for the Eagles for defensive tackle Thomas Booker, a very rare player-for-player trade in the preseason. Tyler Huntley is going to be, because the Browns don't have enough quarterbacks. Tyler Huntley is signing with the Browns. Because they just don't have that many. The Falcons
are they trying to be the first team that can field an entire team with nothing but quarterbacks?
53-man roster of quarterbacks. The Falcons extended right tackle Caleb McGarry, 2-year, $30 million extension, not bad. Bills receiver Khalil Shakir is going to miss some time. He's got a high ankle sprain. Niners defensive tackle Kevin Givens is going to miss regular season time with an injury. And Broncos linebacker Drew Sanders is going to miss at the start of the season. And Jim Harbaugh, we haven't been predicting this all offseason, hopes to bring back Keenan Allen to the Chargers.
We have one more thing of injury news that Green Bay's corner that they got from the Raider there, Nate Hobbs, he just had knee surgery, so he's going to be out for 3 weeks. Which kind of sucks because he was bringing a lot of energy into camp, but hey, shit happens. Just hope he can get healthy.
You hope.
What's going on,
some minor stuff going on with a couple teams here. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater.
And of course, the Brandon Cook drama continues. And he's got a visit. He hasn't signed yet as of 8:39 this morning, but he has a visit with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this morning or today. So like a nice little 2.5 3 hour drive up from Miami.
Yeah, you just gotta wonder why he didn't stick with the Lions, son, because it's not like they have a good backup situation going there. Granted, I know he's living in the Florida area there, but you think...
Don't get it started. You're the rapper Matthew.
It's almost like that's what I was trying to go for.
I mean, come on, they got a hooker.
the,
Hendon Hooker's the truth.
the first hooker that's got to pay you.
I still don't get how some fans look at there are stupid fans in every fan base. Fine. But I don't see how some fans are still like Hendon Hooker needs to be the starter, Goff needs to be on the bench. Just like there are fans, believe it or not, who want some of the other backups to be the starters over, the current starters. Like, what's his name in Green Bay last? There are still some fans who are stupid. Say Jordan Love needs to be on the bench, and we need to start the whatever his name is, your backup.
The big red dog.
No, not Clifford Willis.
Willis. They want Willis starter. And there are some people
We're
in Chicago.
looking into euthanization options for the big red dog.
Yeah, the Eagles are always training for defensive backs. The Eagles are not wrong. And there are even some people in Chicago. You still got the ones who still want Justin Fields on the roster, and you got some who still think Bagent should be the starter.
I've seen a lot of the Bagent talk here
The
recently.
Bagent starter talk is few and far between compared to what it was after his rookie year. There's no that talk is very minute in Chicago these days, just like the Jordan Love talk with what's his name being the starter is very minute. But I mean, there are people in Chicago who still, you got your Justin sexuals who still want Justin on the roster.
Yeah, they haven't been fully converted into Caleb Cultists yet.
I guess not. But I mean, I don't get with some of these guys, like Hooker Goff is probably the best example I can think of right now. Like, dude, really? Like, look, we may shit on Goff a lot on this show because, he's a Lion. But I mean, his numbers aren't bad. And it's like even like Minnesota fans when they were shitting on Kirk Cousins because we want whoever, we don't care. It's like, dude, Kirk put up great numbers for you. You won a lot of games with him because of him. Like, but we just want some random guy. Like, what? I mean, Goff and Hooker, let me think. I'll take Goff. Unless Goff completely implodes this season, I mean, look at Brent's like, yeah, he would have been a better backup for you. There's still hope. He hasn't signed yet. But, yeah, I mean, Steeler fans are mad about Fields, too, that he didn't get re-signed. But, like, I don't get it from these guys.
So some guys will just never be happy with the wife they got. You know what I mean? I'm being serious. You ever met a guy like that? It's like, smoking hot trophy wife, but he's always checking out other guys' wives, and he's like, man, she's something else. And you're sitting here like, dude, like if I had your wife, like I'd be pounding that, dude. I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, like you go home to that every night, and you're sitting here like, you want to go out for a burger when you got filet mignon at home, dude. Like, some people will just never be satisfied, dude. They always want more. They don't realize that Super Bowl quarterbacks don't grow on trees.
I don't get it. I just
if you have a serviceable winning starter, like you're doing better than half the league.
Yeah, I mean, like with the Steelers, and I know Yinzer is still mad about them not, re-signing Fields, and I understand that, and I get that because there are a lot of Bears fans like, yeah, we're mad he's not, we traded him to you to begin with. Like, we should just kept him and drafted an offensive lineman and Rome Odunze, and we would have been fine. Or traded at number one again and got a haul and just drafted a bunch of offensive line in Rome or something like that. Anyway, I mean, I understand that argument, and that argument does make some sense because I do like Justin Fields as a quarterback. After watching games last year, though, I think Ryan Poles I think he did make the right decision. I think they're two different type of quarterbacks, those two, right? Caleb is a pocket passer who's always looking to throw downfield, which is where Justin will get to eventually, but he's still not part of the career. He's in that Lamar flashy, I can run stage. And he can. And he's got a cannon, yes. And he can throw you a 20, 30-yard dime, yes. It's his short intermediate game, doesn't really get used much. I don't know if it's because he doesn't have it or if it just doesn't present itself. But he's not when he has to break contain or break the pocket and scramble, he doesn't look to throw downfield. He looks to run. The difference between him and Caleb is Caleb is still looking to throw the ball downfield, whereas Justin's like, I'm going to get 4 yards out of this pocket, right? And I like that. I like the Caleb approach better if that leads to less injury, which is what I want on my starting quarterback, right? Fields has been lucky overall. He's had some, but still. So I get that argument a lot. They're both good quarterbacks for their own ways. And Fields, hopefully he gets a season this year where, I mean, the guy goes from dumpster fire to dumpster fire to dumpster fire. Not saying the Steelers were a dumpster fire, but it was a dumpster fire situation for him because of the way they treated him at 4-2. And by the way, you're benched. Really? The guy's winning you games. So I get those arguments. But what I don't get is Hendon Hooker is better than Goff. No, he's not. You know, whatever his name is, your backup in Green Bay. Oh yeah, he's a start over Love. He's a better quarterback. No, he's not. Bridgewater is like, watch. Bridgewater signs with Tampa. Bridgewater needs to start over Baker. No, he doesn't. You know, he doesn't. Baker's one of those rare. People forget, man. Baker was the number 1 overall pick. And yeah, but look what happened when he left Cleveland. Yeah, dude, mental breakdown for like 2 freaking years. I get it, wouldn't you? The number 1 overall pick, who goes to the worst franchise probably the NFL had seen in decades, turns that team into like a dumpster fire place no one wants to even think about going to a relevant team that under his stewardship wins their first game in a couple years, goes to their first playoff game in like eons. He restores that entire franchise to something that's somewhat respectable, you could say. I mean, come on, they even get national commercial spots with a Cleveland player, with Baker.
And then they give Deshaun Watson a guaranteed contract and kick him completely out of the building. Like, dude, Cleveland doesn't know what they're doing.
So, I mean, I get the argument. You know, I get the argument. I don't understand. You know, for Justin, I get the argument. I don't understand the argument for these other guys. I'm sorry, I just don't.
You know, honestly, it's guys who root for teams that haven't been in quarterback purgatory for the last 20 years, though. If you think about it, it's like, you know, it's Packer fans. So very few, but it's Packer fans. It's I realize it's not a majority of Packer fans, but it's like, you know, you got Packer fans, then you got Lions fans who had Stafford before they had Goff, and they had Stafford for like 10 years. Like they haven't heard a Darth for a long time. Here I am, a Raider fan, and we've been in a black hole of quarterbacks for the last 25 years, dude. Other than Carr, which Carr was like, I don't put Carr up on that level with like Stafford and Jordan Love and stuff. He was never really, other than that 2016 season when he was an MVP candidate, he was never, before or after, he was never really a top 5 kind of guy, you know?
I mean, with the Packers, I mean,
top 10 guy. He was like a top 15 guy.
When the Packers were yelling for Clifford, I got that because they didn't know about Love yet, right? I get that a little bit. Love's first year as a starter, I can understand there being a little bit of controversy at that point with some of the fans wanting Clifford over Love. I get that because that was a quarterback change. So in a quarterback change year, I get a little bit of it, right? Because you got guys who are going to like player A, guys who are going to like player B. You know, I get that a little bit, but like last year for some of these Packer fans, it's like, no, dude, Love is your quarterback. Like, yeah, he had a slow first half of that first season, and in the second half, he took off. He gets injured in week 1, which he didn't look terrible in week 1, and then the backup comes in. And remember, early in the season, a backup coming in is probably the best time of the year for a backup to have to come in because they've been playing a lot of football in preseason, getting a lot of snaps, so there's not as much rust to shake off as, let's say, week 16 or 14. He still looked pretty good. So some Packer fans are like, oh, yeah, he's got to go, not Love. It's like, dude, Love's your starter. You just paid the guy $55 million. They're not benching him for some.
What I think it was is they got massively in love with how big of a turnaround he had going into LaFleur's system, because a lot of people were starting to talk about that this guy might be out of the league in not too long, and he had such a turnaround. I think people overestimated what he would be able to do as a full-time starter.
Hey Yinzer, you would have a point, except that they had Aaron Rodgers last year. Like, that's the thing is like, but you're absolutely right. The Jets, because even when I made that comment, I was thinking about the Jets. Like, Justin Fields is in that position because the Jets haven't had a decent quarterback before Aaron Rodgers for quite a while.
I mean, the thing that's different with Fields this year, if there's anything that you could put in the plus column for him, besides that he performed well in last year in Pittsburgh, what is that? It's a whole new coaching regime, and they have made some additions that might help them out. But
I,
you're right.
for one, actually hope that Justin Fields puts all the speculation and the doubt behind him. I hope he has a really good year this year and finally steps into that like starting quarterback echelon where people like actually consider him like, oh yeah, he's a starting quarterback. I really do. I like Fields.
The thing that makes it intriguing for me though, Joe, is that like Aaron Glenn, who was a defensive coordinator who had to scheme against him twice a year for a couple of years, when he gets his head coaching gig, and he had options at quarterback, right? When he took it, I mean, he knew they could have gone after any free agent quarterback they wanted to. They could have moved up in the draft. They could have done a lot of different things to get a different quarterback. They inked Justin Fields pretty darn quickly. Like, okay, that's my guy. I mean, Aaron Glenn made that clear. That's my guy. It was 2 year, $40 million. Great starting quarterback money for the Jets. They're not spending $40 or $50 million a year. They're spending $20. But I mean, he made that pretty clear. That's my guy. So I hope he has a good year too, and I hope things turn around for the Jets because God, their fans could use it. Just like NOLA fans could use a little good news instead of this like.
I kind of think the Jets fans like that the Jets suck because it gives them something to bitch about.
The martyr syndrome.
Yeah, I was going to say, it just kind of feels that way with the Jets.
It's like Browns fans. Like, if the Browns didn't suck, what would they do with themselves? You know what I mean? But
yeah, these guys with their backup quarterbacks, like, oh, Hooker should be a starter. Like, send them all. They should send them all to Cleveland for that 53-man roster of quarterbacks. Because really, in Cleveland, who are you pulling for? I mean, you see some of the stupid clickbait. Shedeur Sanders might get cut. Shedeur Sanders this. Oh, this guy's going to be the starter. I mean, the clickbait for Cleveland is insane right now. And just to think that just a few short years ago, they had Baker there, and they were trending north. And just like that, they're the joke of the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, they just kind of fell back into being the joke of the NFL.
Yeah.
Ownership, finding a way. And I don't know who's to blame on that in Cleveland. Is that the ownership? Is that the ownership or the GM? Is that the ownership or the GM on that, or is that a little bit of both? I mean,
for what? For Cleveland,
the complete implosion of everything there.
Owners, I'm putting that
ownership. I'm putting it on ownership. They haven't really been relevant. I mean, they've had a couple of playoff seasons, but since they came back as the Browns in Cleveland, like that ownership group has just been terrible.
And Baker was making them relevant, and that's like when you go to people. This whole thing started on we're talking about if Bridgewater signed. People are gonna be, oh my God, Bridgewater needs to be the starter. No, Baker has earned those chops. Baker resuscitated. And I'll tell you what, for Baker to walk into Tampa after Brady leaves and take that team, how many quarterbacks could do that in this league?
Dude, with the offense they got over there, and their defense is still pretty decent. I mean, I know they lost a couple of guys, but their defense is still serviceable, and their offense is freaking loaded, dude. I mean, you think about Evans, Godwin, they just got Ibuka. They got Bucky Irving. Like their tight end is good. Like their offensive line is pretty decent. Like those guys could threaten for a Super Bowl, man. Like,
they're definitely. I mean, they're definitely in that mix. And then Stafford. I always compare Baker to Stafford in a lot of ways because both those guys, they can just do things. You know what I mean? Like they've got that intangible in a game. Like well, what the hell is Stafford going to, how's Stafford going to pull this one out of nowhere? And then he just kind of pulls something out of nowhere, and like, wow, did that just happen? And I really love when we get Rams games with Tampa. Bucks Rams games are so much fun to watch because both those quarterbacks you're just like, okay, which one's going to do something next? But they're in that same ilk for me for that reason. They just have that X quality that not many quarterbacks in this league have. Even Patrick Mahomes doesn't have that X factor quality like they do. They've got this weird X factor quality about them, this aura that Patrick Mahomes, you're always
I was going to say, I got to push back on the Patrick Mahomes.
No, because Patrick will get like an easy 14-yard scamper where he's got the whole freaking field to run. Like Mahomes is opportunistic in a different sense. Like he doesn't create these crazy, like, how the hell did this just happen play like Stafford does. He just like, oh my God, they just let him run for 14 yards.
Well, I mean, him
throwing that guy wide open.
Him throwing the pass there where he's completely horizontal in the air was a pretty wild one.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
So he makes great off-platform throws, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, at the end of a game, I'm sorry, like, as far as that X factor, the two big guys are the biggest X factor in this league to me are Stafford and Baker. And there's some other guys who have some good X factor. Joe Burrow does. Yes, Mahomes does. But when you're thinking about a game and they're saying, okay, we're Chiefs Raiders, you don't go, well, that Mahomes factor is what's going to pull it. Like Mahomes is going to do something crazy and they're going to win a game. But when you're talking about the Rams versus someone, and it's a tight game, you're like, yeah, but Stafford's going to do something crazy, man, and the Rams are just going to win that game.
Yeah, I think
you know what I'm saying? It's a different level of X factor.
Your opinion. It's your opinion, so we can't tell you you're wrong. But I will say, like Mahomes, dude, he did take them down the field to win that against the Bills in 13 seconds. Like he literally got them into field goal range in 13 seconds. And so if that's not an X factor, I don't know what.
I'm not saying he doesn't have an X factor. So don't get that wrong, Broski, Luca. I'm not saying he doesn't have an X factor. I'm just saying that these other two guys just have a different level of that X factor. You know what I mean? Like,
put it this way: if it's Chiefs Raiders, if we're up by 7 points with like a minute and a half left,
I don't want Mahomes
I'm sitting there sweating the whole time, dude, because I know this little Kermit-looking bastard is going to make some fucking miraculous throw.
Yeah,
we're going to be tied up.
I'm way more afraid of Mahomes than I am of Baker and even Stafford.
Okay, so maybe you guys aren't just. Let me see if I can explain it better. Then maybe I'm just not explaining it right. I'm not saying Mahomes doesn't have an X factor. That is because it's like Burrow. It's like these guys are dangerous. You don't want them to have the ball with a minute left, down 3 or down 1 score, because you're like, crap. What are they going to do? Baker and Stafford though just have this different aura factor about them. That's just different. I don't know. It's just different. It's just like with them, shit just happens. Like you're like, really? How the hell? It's just the weirdest shit with those guys. I don't know how. I can't put my finger on it, but I get what you guys are saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. Like skill wise, I wouldn't want to Mahomes with the. They're gonna drive.
I wonder a little bit if it's because you like how charismatic the other guys are versus Mahomes, because Mahomes to me has the charisma of a wet blanket.
I think there's some of that.
I was going to say a wet fart.
Too. Yeah, I mean,
the charisma of a wet fart.
I think there's some of that too. But like Joe Burrow is like charisma for days, and so but with those two guys in particular, it just seems that like they could be playing with the worst team in NFL history, and somehow eke out a win against the best. It's just this weird thing with those two guys in particular. And maybe it's just the way out of it. It's Burrow kind of has it. It's just this
you're
weird.
You're talking about the Tebow effect.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like the Tim Tebow effect. Like when he was in Florida, it's like I'm not talking about skill level. I'm talking about like there are guys who are just winners. Like they have leadership qualities that the team will follow them, and they just they win games that they shouldn't because of that quality, that leadership, and that winner. Like, they win because they're not going to lose. Like, they refuse to lose. Baker, he was that way at Oklahoma. I really liked Baker coming out of college because he had that mentality of, like, when he was in college, I was like, man, this guy's a winner. Like, he's just ultra competitive, dude.
And I'm not saying Mahomes doesn't have an X factor or Burrow or some of these other guys. I'm just saying with those two guys in particular, it's just different. It's just different. That's all I'm saying. It's just it's kind of like Spinal Tap. Everyone's going to 10. Those two guys go to 11 with that X factor. You know what I mean? Which reminds me, Spinal Tap 2 is coming out, and I can't wait. Can't wait to hear Stonehenge again. But no, I mean, Cleveland fan had that. They had that with Baker. They had that quality, that thing that, like, Cleveland was in games again. They were relevant. And what they do? They ran Baker out of town. And look at Baker then for like 2 years kind of spiraled, right? I mean, I get it. You're the number one quarterback. You've just revived the franchise. You've got national ad campaigns. And Cleveland treats you like you're the last pick in the draft that could never make the field in an NFL game. And then he goes to a shitty situation in Carolina where they give him no chance. Then he goes to the Rams, where ironically he's with Stafford, right? And it's like, all right. And then Tampa says, you're our guy. And once Tampa just comes and says, you're our guy, look what's happened to Tampa. It's just, maybe I say that about these two for another reason. Stafford and Baker both have had the situation in their careers where their team was like at rock bottom, the worst of the worst. They just couldn't do shit. No matter how well they played, their team was always going to lose. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what kind of magic they pulled, but yet they turned those franchises around to be something, right? I mean, and with Stafford, they were always getting close, and then he gets traded, and the second he gets traded, wins the Super Bowl. Baker made a team relevant, has all that. Now he's making Tampa. When everyone said Tampa's not going to be relevant anymore, he made them relevant. I think the reason maybe I give him a little bit of that edge on that X factor, Mahomes never had that problem. Mahomes came to a team that was already a playoff team, and the year before he was a starter. When he was on the bench, they were a playoff team the year prior with a lot of studs around him. He never had that issue, right? He was always on a good team. These other guys had to battle through some really shitty teams, and maybe that's why I give them that as well. And you take that into consideration. They know what it's like to be at the bottom of the barrel.
That's true. That's a fact.
And they climbed out of it. So that's more or less why I give him that X factor that Mahomes can't touch. Burrow has been getting a taste of that a little bit in Cincinnati.
Remember when Burrow got drafted in Cincinnati? It wasn't like Cincinnati was a good team. Like,
no,
they were a shitty team, and Burrow made them relevant. And then when he got chased, like, they really got relevant. They started making the Super Bowl and consistently making the playoffs. And
yeah. Luka would do that if he could get a Super Bowl. He would blow any quarterback that would win him a Super Bowls. Let's be honest there. Well, no, but Luka, it's not that they've been consistently better because they got rid of Stafford, though. Like, Stafford is what got them all the pieces that made them the team they are today. The Stafford trade got them the draft picks and Goff that made them what they are today, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it certainly helped them along the way.
And after Brady left Tampa, that team was in disarray for a season. I also
think that Dan Campbell deserves some credit for building that team over there, though.
A lot. That staff has done a great job in Detroit. And Stafford, Stafford goes to the Rams, immediately wins the Super Bowl, and minus 1 year, really, they've been, in a playoff contending team every year. All these teams, of course, losing Aaron Donald didn't help the Rams and some other players. Tampa, when Brady leaves the next year, they're kind of meandering through the woods, trying to figure it out. And now they have. It's part of the normal ups and downs. But when those two quarterbacks, man, their trajectory's been a lot different than most.
Who did Tampa have in between Brady and Baker? Because I'm drawing a blank there.
Was it? It wasn't Bridgewater, was it?
No, because it said that the Bucks will be Bridgewater's 8th team if he signs with them. So it wasn't Bridgewater. But I had that same thought, Ken. That's why,
Yeah.
I thought it was Bridgewater too, but it wasn't. That's that Mandela effect.
I am the prison camp of being retired. Yeah, it's a prison camp of being retired in the man cave this morning. I'm trying to think who. I can't remember who, but they had a rough year. But once again, Bridgewater is not going to be the backup or not going to be the starter in Tampa. I mean, I just love when these guys in camp. You'll see other teams like some backup has a good couple preseason games. Oh, they should be the starter. Well, you haven't even seen your starter in preseason, man. They don't play. And every fan base is going to have say that crap, but
they went from Brady to Mayfield. Brady had kind of a so-so season going 8-9.
Yeah,
and they lost in the wild card round, but it went from Brady to Mayfield.
And how did Mayfield do the first year there?
9-8.
Okay.
Lost in the divisional round.
So he won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Or he won the division.
Well, they didn't get to bye. They had to win a playoff game to get to the division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the Caleb hate's always going to be out there for Packer fans. I mean, it doesn't matter. That's just the way it is.
Hey, where's Dorn? We haven't seen the comment.
No,
okay, all right. Caleb is a huge bust. Do we feel better now?
There we go. See, there we go. There goes Motown Mitch. That happens within the division. I don't care how good your quarterback is. Another division, I don't care how good Jordan Love is. He still sucks. That's a Bears thing.
Oh, dude, we heard it with Aaron Rodgers, and it was fucking hilarious.
And that's always going to be the Packer report. Oh, my God, we heard this with our former quarterback. Oh, my God. Yeah, your quarterback's one-on-one against Caleb. Shut the fuck up. That's always going to be the response back.
Okay. Our quarterback's also undefeated in your stadium.
This is why I don't do the trash talk stuff, because it's pretty pointless. And I'm just saying that these are going to be the comments you hear within the division. I don't care how good J.J. McCarthy is this year. All of the other three teams in the division are going to say he sucks for whatever reason. And that's just the trash talk. I mean, and that's right. We have a great trash talk show at noon. You can tune in for all the trash talk you want to hear. But I mean, honestly speaking, JJ really all he's got to do is neck beard. Oh wait, like a certain other quarterback last year, and he'll be good. Jordan Love is not a bad quarterback. He's just got to prove this year he's worth the $55 million. Last year he didn't. Caleb needs to take a step forward. Goff just needs to really maintain. Really, to be honest with you,
what he's doing.
Yeah. I don't think he really has to prove anything. He just has to maintain.
He's got to prove that he can get there when he's got the pressure right in his face, because that's been the knock against him his whole career. And Luka, those Packer fans, those are the ones that like to drink antifreeze.
Like John Dorn.
No, Dorn was trolling those Packer fans.
Sure he was. That's why we was saying it so much. We can pull video out.
Yes. That's exactly why. It was an inside joke between him and Isaac.
Yeah, unfortunately for everyone else in the planet who watched the video, they're saying, wow, this Dorn guy likes Clifford. So, I'm just saying.
Yeah. You guys were talking about the Eagles, right? And how they traded for a corner.
Another, yeah.
Yeah, they traded they got Jacorian Bennett from the Raiders, which I find interesting because Jacorian Bennett, we drafted him in the 4th round a couple years ago, and his rookie year was really, really rough. But his second year, he came on and he was like, he started to look like he was going to be a really good corner, and then he got hurt. And then he came back this year. He was fully healthy. And so I find it interesting that the Raiders were willing to trade with him, because they traded for a defensive tackle from the Eagles who had like 18 tackles last year and 1 sack. Not like huge numbers. But it says one of two things. Like, because Christian Wilkins just left. It either says that the guys that they drafted at D line, at D tackle, are not working out the way that they hoped, and so they felt they needed another body, or it says that the guys they drafted at corner, brought in at corner, are working out better than they thought, and they felt like this is a piece that we can move on from and try to build an area.
Mitch, you got to give yourself some credit because you're up in the running.
I mean, he's calling Broski a troll. Wow.
Yeah.
Broski, how are you going to respond to that?
Come on, look at Goff as the top 3 quarterback shit. Like, look at the numbers.
Hey,
look at the numbers.
Ken, was funny. You broke the Nate Hobbs thing. I just rechecked the line, and at 10:03 this morning, there was an article published on it. So interesting, it was a partial tear, and they say he'll be back week 1. Like, dude, that's like 4 weeks. That's a real short recovery time. Even for the partial tear surgery. It's
supposed to only be 3 weeks. He's supposed to be able to come back a week before the season starts. Now, granted, I still, if he does want him taking it super fucking easy, there you go, broski.
Yeah, I mean, it's concerning. It's not concerning, but it's concerning, right? I mean, anytime a player goes under the knife, and they said that, I was reading the article real quick. It said that the surgery was a success. Recovery can always have that. Speaking of X factors, there's always that X factor of the recovery where it could go wrong. Well, I hope for his case and Packers fans' case, he is back and healthy. I'm just wondering if there's going to be any lingering effects in the first couple weeks of the season.
Dude, so you just gave Hobbs that big contract and he's already hurt?
Yeah. Partial meniscus tear is what it was. They said he could have played. He could have played through it. That they didn't have to do this, but it was preventative. And I kind of agree with what they did. Don't get me wrong. I think that was a good move by Hobbs and the Packers to do that, to be honest. I'd rather lose him, even if he can't go week 1 and 2. I'd rather him miss 2 weeks in a whole year.
Yeah.
So it was a good move.
I think we kind of learned our lesson from the Alexander shit. When somebody needs surgery, just go get the surgery now.
The thing is, though, I'm wondering why did they wait until now? If this was something. Well, no, it must have just happened.
Mm-hmm. I think part of why it happened is because for practices, instead of running it like an 8, he's running it at 12. And he's had to be told by LaFleur a few times now, you need to calm it the fuck down, dude. And now he's learning why you need to calm it down.
Dude, you guys are gonna love Hobbs, man. He was my favorite. He was my favorite Raider I have his jersey, dude.
Listening to the way that he talks, I already like the guy.
Bro, we call him Hype Man Hobbs. Like,
I can see why.
I mean, like I've had a partial tear on each knee in my military life, and it took a good, without surgery. Yeah, it took after about 3 or 4 weeks, I wasn't feeling it anymore, but it took like 6 to 8 for me to heal. So this is not something that happened at the end of last year. This is something that happened over the summer, where he tore it somehow. And that leads me to Jalen Johnson, who now they're saying should be back by week 1. Or the quote was, there are scenarios in which he's back by week 1. I think Jalen Johnson either has a partial tear like Hobbs did, or he's got a hamstring issue. It's the only thing I can think of that would put them in this soft tissue wise, that would put him in probably this situation. He's either got like a Hobbs issue or was a slight tear, or he's got a hamstring issue.
Shout out Hype Man Hobbs. If you're watching the show, once a Raider, always a Raider, dude.
Hey, I mean, we've had real good luck in the past with former Raiders defensive backs, so here's hoping this works out somewhat like it.
If he can stay healthy, man, you guys, he's never going to – well, I don't want to say never, because the Packers can, they can make him an all-pro, but, you're going to love that dude. He's all effort, and he's a great player, when he's healthy. And he hypes the guys around him up. That's why we called him Hype Man Hobbs, because he's like, when somebody makes a good tackle, he's over there slapping them talk your shit. It's he's hella funny, dude. Hobbs is a funny ass dude.
I was talking to Ken before the show, and we were saying, man, this division, all 4 teams are just like personnel wise. You can maybe even say coach wise now if the Ben Johnson hype is true. I mean, all 4 of these teams are going to be exciting to watch this year. All 4 teams have a legitimate shot to do a lot of damage. And we have wood this morning, by the way, guys.
We've got
¿Cómo estás? Ahí.
I mean, all 4 of these teams have a legitimate shot. Hobbs up there is, part of that with Green Bay. I mean, that defense was good last year. Now they got a hype man. Shit.
Now you got the hype man. Like you gotta have, if you're gonna have a pub, you gotta have a Flavor Flav.
I was just about to say that.
Hobbs is the Flavor Flav, dude. Yeah, boy.
But like with Hobbs, though, I mean, it was the Packers and him did right. Like even if he misses week 1, who cares? I mean, Packers fans, oh man, I wish the guy would be, but who cares? He's going to be there the whole season because they did the right step, right? I'm wondering if with Jalen Johnson, if there wasn't something similar. I mean, some people are like, oh, it's the contract. I think that's more clickbaity. I'm wondering if he doesn't have a pulled hamstring or a partial tear that they're nursing to start. Instead of doing the just all right, we're going to sit you for the next 4 weeks. You heal, so you don't have to do the night on a partial tear or a hamstring issue.
Ken. Where'd you hear that, Ken?
What? Where'd I hear what?
About his hamstring pull.
Well, no. That's what I'm saying. They haven't said anything. They've just said it's a soft muscle issue or whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like we were just talking, Hobbs just had surgery on a partial tear. That he's going to be out for the rest of camp, but he'll be back hopefully by week 1. It was a preventative, so he doesn't get a full-blown tear. He could have played on the partial, like probably not done much in camp and try to heal. But they said, nope, just do the surgery, do the rehab, be back by week 1. I'm wondering if with Jalen Johnson, because they've been very tight-lipped about it, if he doesn't have a partial tear in his ACL himself, that they're just, all right, we'll just let it heal naturally, no knife, whatever, and then we'll be ready for week 1. Or if he doesn't have like a hamstring issue or something like that. Because the Bears have not said, and that's led, of course, to the clickbait that, oh, he's not happy with his contract he signed last year, making $20 million a year isn't enough, blah, blah, blah. It's a holdout. I mean, look, they're crafty, but they're not that crafty. I'm thinking he's got some kind of injury, maybe like Hobbs did, except Chicago and Jalen have opted not to go on their knife, whereas Hobbs and the Packers said, no, let's just go in and have a corrective surgery and be done with it. I'm just wondering if that could be the situation with Jalen Johnson. I'm not saying it is.
Okay.
I mean, it would make sense, right? It would. It makes sense on some level that he's got like a hamstring issue or maybe a partial tear, and they don't want to tell everyone what it is, so they're just like in hockey, he has an upper chest injury. What the hell does that mean? That's what the Bears equivalent has been right now. He has a soft muscle issue. What the hell does that mean?
He has soft tissues like Kleenex. But it's just funny how Jalen Johnson goes on the PUP list after holy shit, I'm drawing a blank right now.
The cornerback about how he wants a bigger contract.
The cornerback for the Jets that just got the big contract.
Sauce.
What's that?
Sauce.
Yeah, Sauce. Sorry, thank you. It's funny how he gets that big contract, and if somebody can look up his contract, I'm not sure the stipulation or anything like that, and then he goes on the PUP list. That's strange.
Sauce's contract is big.
Yeah. Do you think Jalen Johnson deserves a contract like Sauce does?
No.
4-year, 120. 4 years, 120 is what he got.
Wow.
Well, I don't know, because Sauce has kind of underperformed the last couple. Still got that contract.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Jalen Johnson's even more pissed, because he thinks he overachieved and he's getting that much only.
So Jalen last year signs a 4-year, $76 million. And then Sauce this year gets a lot more, right? 120. I mean, yeah, Sauce got like what?
Almost 50 million more, like 45 million more.
More.
That's like George Kittle numbers right there. That's George Kittle's contract. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just strange that it happened right around that time. I don't know.
You know, but here's the thing, though, too, though. Like, Jalen, on one half, he's probably happy for his boy. On the other half, it's like, man, why am I? That's $50 million. I wish I could be getting. But last year, he set the market. You got a market-setting contract. You had to expect that the next year someone's going to get more. That's just the way the NFL is. Unless Jalen Johnson is just that stupid to not understand that someone's going to get a bigger contract than him a year later. I mean, now granted, no one thought $50 million more over the same time period, but someone was going to get a bigger contract. Have we ever seen a guy hold out a year after signing a big extension?
Not that I can think of.
What is that, $30 million a year? What the fuck?
For Sauce? Well, it's 4 years. What did I say? Sauce's contract, 4 years, 120. So, yeah, $30 million a year. 10. So, a little, yeah, yeah.
Wow, Jets are. I'm putting Jets up there in maybe the AFC Championship game. Him and Fields, look out, buddies.
I mean, if Jalen were like to hold out because I want a bigger contract, I'm sorry. This is going to be one of those cases where I am not going to sign with the player.
No,
you just signed
absolutely not.
You just signed a record-breaking deal for your position the year prior, and now another guy signs another record-breaking deal, and you're mad. I mean, I get you're upset. You didn't get more money, but the team didn't screw you over, and you agreed to this record-setting deal. And 1 year later, you're like, I want more. Nope, sorry, it doesn't work like that.
Well, you got to think in Jalen Johnson's head. You think he's going into last year when he signed his contract? Oh, nobody's going to get a bigger contract than me. Fuck no, I'm the best. You got to think that somebody's always better. That's going to get a better contract.
Well, I mean, I don't blame the guys for having that mentality that no one's better than me. I mean, that's not bad. But I mean, contract-wise, he had to know someone's going to get a bigger contract. But $10 million a year more? Ooh. I mean, that's just the Jets being stupid. I mean, look at Woody and Joe both.
He's right here.
Oh, there we go. That's just the Jets being stupid with the money. That's
right. It's just like DK Metcalf, right?
Yeah, Woody, you must be in a bad signal area because you broke up there.
How about me? How about now?
There you go. What was about DK?
Just like DK Metcalf, he's a good player. And what is his contract? 5 year, $150 million? I think that's what his contract was for the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't remember how they gave him.
It helps when I add that one extra word in the.
Yeah, I think it's. 4
year 132.
Yeah, I think it's 5 year 150.
No, 4.
Oh, okay, 4 year 132. Okay.
Yep.
Oof.
Go Bears, Carol. Go Bears. There is some. I mean, there are some stupidly huge contracts out there right now, but. But I think that going back to how this all started,
it's getting to be like baseball.
Kind of.
Let's sign Caleb with fucking Otani's contract.
It's funny you
Jesus
say that,
Christ.
And there are Bears fans who think that when Caleb is due, he's going to sign a contract. The way quarterback contracts are going, that 3 years from now, when he signs his extension, will be a 10-year, $1 billion contract, $100 million a year quarterback.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, though, Ken, you chuckle, and I kind of chuckle too. But dude, we're already at $60 million a year quarterbacks, and it's been going up about $10 million a year. So it's not that far off.
Man.
Well, let me talk to those Bears fans that think that.
I mean it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy
to me.
for so many reasons, right? But like, it may not be Caleb, but a 10-year, $1 billion quarterback, yeah. I can see that happening within the next 4 or 5 years if something doesn't change with the contracts.
What is Aaron Judge coming to the NFL?
It's going up and up and up. I mean, guys are making $60 million a year now. We're not, it's at the rate they're jumping. A $100 million a year quarterback's not that far off.
Yeah, if Daniel Jones can make $45 million a year, anything's possible. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
I'm speechless for the first time.
Dude, they're getting Prescott is $60 million a year, Burrow's at 55, Trevor Lawrence at 55, Jordan Love at 55, Tua's at 53. So Dak's at 60, which means the next guy is going to get 65 or 70, which means the guy after him is going to get 70 or 75. You see where it's going? I mean,
Bo Nix.
Yeah. It could be Bo Nix, but
or it could be Jaden Daniels too.
Broski, yeah, I would agree with for any position, but maybe quarterback. If there was a position group,
I was going to say, didn't Mahomes sign a 10-year deal?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He signed a 10-year deal. I think quarterback's the only position that would get a deal of 10 years or so. Everyone else is 4, 5, 6. But Mahomes signed a 10-year deal initially, and then they restructured and made it after 2 years and made it a 10-year deal again. So for his contract, it's effectively a 12-year deal.
That's nuts.
But when you think about though with a franchise,
no. I'm not saying it's a bad move. It's just nuts that the guy's getting a 12-year contract, pretty much.
Yeah. I should get more. I should get more money for podcasts.
Yeah, you and me both, Woody and Ken and Joe. We all should, but
Jesus Christ.
I mean, a quarterback is probably the only. There's no other position I can think of where you would probably say a player is going to get a 10-year deal because of longevity. Because the problem with the good offensive linemen, some of these guys play with the team for 16 years. The problem is, by the time you would identify he's going to be that good, he's going to be a 16-year guy in your organization, he's 9 or 10 years into his life with you. Quarterback is different.
Football's a contact sport. Ain't nobody I'm signing for 10 years. No way. I don't care what position you are.
But historically, though, I think quarterbacks probably franchise quarterbacks. Let's make that more specific. Your Brady's, your Mahomes type of guys. They'll stick for about 10 years or more with a team. But that's such like Joe Burrow. There's no reason this guy won't play 15, 20 years with Cincinnati.
I don't know if his injury history rears its ugly head again. He might not.
I don't know. I just like his wife.
Who, Joe Burrow?
Yeah. See, I used to be dating Zach Ertz's wife, but then he got mad. And then I went to Joe Burrow's. I just forget names because I'm a player.
What up, Jim? Dude, Jim, you're 100% on point, man. That's why ticket prices are so ridiculously stupid.
Look what I paid.
Yeah, why do you think that the cap can go up $20 million a year? Because of all the revenue they're making off the tickets. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You want your team to have the money to pay the man, but now guess who's paying the man? Your ticket prices.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you're pricing yourself out of going to games when you're advocating, pay the guy $60 million a year, he's worth it. Well, I guess when they raise the tickets in Dallas, prices in Dallas, you know why? Because you wanted Dak to get 60. Now instead of going to 5 games, you're going to 1.
I paid $1,000 for 2 tickets on the second level. Good night. I'll be there.
Rough.
And
believe me, when I'm there, I'm gonna make it worth my while for that $1,000.
But I'll tell you, oh Jesus! We're gonna have a GoFundMe account for bailing Woody out of jail starting here shortly.
No, I'm just gonna say Woody's gonna wear a trench coat. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a sign that says "We want Micah"
But Jim's 100% right. This is why your ticket prices are going up, because we're giving guys like Sauce Gardner, 30 mil a year. We're giving quarterbacks 60 mil a year and more eventually here. And wide receivers, we're giving them 35, 40 mil a year. And defensive tackles, and you guys are like, oh, but they're so worth it, man. And then it's funny. The very next is, man, why the fuck are game tickets so expensive? And here's your sign.
I can't wait. I'm gonna raise hell. I want to see a cow. I want to see a Cowboys fan there. It's gonna rip them up.
Jim just nailed it. I'm sorry, Jim. That's a comment of the day, man. You nail it. This is exactly why we the ticket prices are so freaking high. These silly ass contracts.
Well, that's why when I go to Yankees games, goddamn Heineken's $16 now. A Heineken.
Yeah, no, Jim, I hear you. The season ticket price, like, what are these guys doing? Put it this way, Jim, the average fan can no longer own season tickets in a lot of places.
Come on, douche. The fucking light's green. Let's go.
You have to be, in that making $200K a year, $300K a year group almost to have season tickets in a lot of places. So if you're just a blue collar guy or gal, no, you're not buying.
Just imagine the ticket prices now. Imagine the playoff tickets. Well, I don't have to worry about that. But.
Well, yeah, because those even in hockey, those get super like hockey season tickets aren't bad. Baseball season tickets aren't bad. But if your team gets in the playoffs, holy crap, those tickets go for like for the regular season. Let's say for baseball, you might pay for your tickets, let's say $60 a game. And then if your team gets to playoffs, yeah, you got first right of refusal to buy it. That ticket went from $60 to $300.
Well, my cousin works at the Rock when I went to Devils hockey's games, and the regular price is $75 for the regular season, $145 for the playoffs. That same seat.
And it goes up by round in the NHL too.
It goes up round this motherfucker. Yeah, so fuck that shit.
Broski, update on the stadium. There has not been any. There's been zero update lately on the stadium process for the Bears.
I know there's an update on Penn State Stadium. They're not fucking done yet. It's all knocked over. They're not playing. Penn State's not playing this year.
Yeah, Jim, you would not be able to afford probably season tickets right now in Detroit because their ticket prices have gone up a lot. But if anybody, Luca might know. I think Luca probably should have season tickets for the Vikings. Like, how much did the Viking tickets go up for the playoffs last year?
Serial works at the field or Detroit, so he might know.
Well, no, Jim was saying it too, though. I mean, it's crazy, dude. But now we know what you get. This is why, and eventually there's going to be a quarterback who's going to make $100 million a year, and you wonder why ticket prices are so expensive you can't go to games.
So for 8 years of rookie contracts from now on, so we can afford tickets.
Yeah.
They're rookie deals, 8 years, not 4.
I mean, it's like I get it. And look, it's a self-licking ice cream cone. Does the guy generate the revenue? Yeah, he does. He's worth the money.
Now you got me to move for ice cream. Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, anything I can do, man, on your way to work. But the player's worth the money because he generates the revenue. He's a good player. But then, yeah, it's now because he's worth the money, he makes more money, which means that the team has to make more money, which means, guess what? It's just a self-licking ice cream cone.
Oh, my God. I have to get a CMP.
Yeah, I'm with you, Inzer. I've been to enough live games when I have to pay an arm, a leg, and my grandchild's spleen and kidney to go. I'm good now with watching it at home on an 85-inch screen in the comfort. I donated blood. Yeah, I'm happy now where I can buy a 12-pack for as much as one beer might cost me in the stadium. I can get a 12-pack at home. So yeah, that's why I drink during the tailgate, get hammered, and sober up during the game. I don't bring my wallet in. That's just my rule. On that note,
yeah.
We'll see
on that fucking note.
Yeah, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Enjoy your Tuesday. Hey, we even get to it, but joint practices are starting. We got games on Thursday. So we're starting to get into it. We'll keep track on some of these injuries and contract situations because we even talk about those. We talked about them yesterday. Maybe we'll get something to break on those. But for Ken, Joe, Woody, and everyone here, have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
You bear down. See ya.